Hello, my name is Suzanne Miller. Today I am discussing Chapter 17, Personal Selling and Sales Management. For the assignment question, I am doing question number 1 here, and I will read it off to you. The question 1 for the chapter assignments is arrange to spend a day accompanying a field salesperson in your favorite part of the hospitality and travel industry. At the end of the day, evaluate this person's performance. Did the sales representative follow the steps in the sales process? How successful was the person in achieving his or her objectives? Did you observe any closes, and what closing strategies were used? What did you like about the person's approaches? What did you dislike? How could you improve upon the salesperson approaches and techniques, and how? So for Chapter 17, it first discusses what personal selling is. On page 577, the definition of personal selling is: personal selling involves oral conversation either by telephone or face-to-face between salesperson and prospective customers. These days, it also includes two-way communications through online message services like Yahoo and Skype, to name a few. And then promotional mix. In the book, it is a combination of advertising, sales promotion, personal selling, public relations, and publicity approaches used by a hospitality and travel organization for a specific time period. It also includes internet marketing. Also for my hotel, I work at the Hyatt Place Hyatt House downtown Denver Hotel, and our sales representatives do a lot of personal selling because they want to stand out from the other hotels and make people know that we give the best service and that we care the most for our customers. So the 5 major personal selling strategies include stimulus response or canned sales presentations, 2, mental state strategy, 3, formula selling, 4, need satisfaction approach, and 5, problem solving approach. So for the 5 major categories here, the first one, stimulus response, is a sales presentation method that emphasizes the importance of saying the right things at the right time by means of well-prepared sales approaches, I believe. Presentation. That's going to be on the textbook from page 587 to 588 for the definition of the first one. For the second one, mental state strategy, that's on page 588. It's a sales representative who uses this approach assumes that customers must go through sequential mental states before they make the purchase. And when it comes to the travel and hospitality industry, people are going to be spending a lot of money for the experience. They want to make sure they spend the time thinking of where their money is going to go and how their experience is going to be. Number 3, formula selling, located on page 588 as well. The definition is: this is a variation of the mental states approach. It's a selling strategy in which the sales presentation is designed to move the customers through the stages in the decision-making process. So us sales representatives are always wanting to be there for the customer, make sure they have someone to lean on and ask the questions that are commonly asked, and we're here to answer them for them. Number 4 is going to be a need satisfaction approach. I do remember in previous chapters that when it comes to customers wanting to buy something, they're going to feel a need for the item that they're wanting to purchase. And then in the textbook, it's just saying determining customer needs through discussion and questioning. So you're going to be questioning your customer and seeing what they like and how us sales representatives can accommodate to their needs. Number 5, problem solving approach. It's for their satisfaction for the customers, because they're coming to sales representatives because they need something and they want us to be able to problem solve. Sales management. The management of sales force and personal selling efforts to achieve desired sales objectives. The contents of the sales plan include sales objectives, sales activities, and sales budget. Next one here is the 4 characteristics, of personal selling in hospitality and travel. The first one is the importance of personal selling varies. 2, inside selling closely related to service levels. 3, no generally accepted qualifications for industry sales positions. And then number 5, there's the importance of missionary sales works. And that just kind of goes into more depth on the textbook if you're wanting to read about it some more on page, looks like I'm seeing it on here, page 599 to 600. That just is talking about like the sales for staffing. The sales plan and sales management. This one's 7 possible strategies for closing sales. So for closing sales, that's going to be starting on, let's see, on page 597, number 5, it says closing the sales. Closing means getting a sales prospect to agree with the objectives of the sales call, which normally implies making a definite purchase or reservation. In a multi-stage presentation, it may involve getting commitment for the follow-up visit or other additional discussions. And so the seven possible strategies for closing sales include trial closes, assumption close, summary or summary of the benefit close, special concession close, 5, elimination of the single objection or final concern close, 6, limited choice close, and 7, direct appeal close. And the definition of those is a little bit more detailed. Go on to page 598 and 599. It starts with the trial close and all the other, there's verbal and nonverbal closing cues from the customer. And I think to be a good sales representative, you need to be aware of those cues and how you can kind of read your customer. Being in the customer service based, I think it's very important for us industry workers to know how we can read people. And obviously no one can mind read anybody, but it's also body language, certain things people say, and how well you know your customer as well. So the question that I am doing is question number 1. As I read earlier, it is arrange to spend a day accompanying a field salesperson in your favorite part of the hospitality and travel industry. At the end of the day, evaluate this person's performance. Did the sales representative follow the steps in the sales process? How successful was the person in achieving his or her objectives? Did you observe any closes, and what closing strategies were used? What did you like about the person's approaches? What did you dislike? How can you improve upon the salesperson approaches and techniques, and how? So for me, as you guys know, I do work in a hotel downtown, so it was easy for me to be able to ask the sales representative within my hotel and observe. I was able to ask them questions and observe their behavior when they did go out and do a selling for our meeting spaces. We do also have people who want to have wedding receptions or cocktail parties at a hotel, and then sometimes people will need to have a group booking for the hotel. This summer we're having, currently right now we're having Pride Festival go on this weekend and Comic-Con. So our sales representatives go online, they reach out to customers, and they do special rates for these people that are wanting to come for these conventions and festivals and like meetings and stuff. So when I went into the sales representative's office, I just kind of observed them. I started out just being like the fly on the wall. I didn't really say anything, didn't really get much involved, just because I haven't had the proper training. And I was here to answer the questions within this chapter assignment. So the first thing that they do in their day is start with stand-up. So stand-up is new things that are happening in the hotel. It'll start with the manager, the sales manager of the hotel. They will go through new bookings, new conventions, new meeting spaces that are needing to be used, and then they discuss like the rates that are going on. And that also is kind of discussed in the book as well. I think sales representatives do need a good team to build off each other, so it makes it easier to kind of go out in the public and get these people. The sales people are analyzing the hotel. When they go out and get people, they are going to be asking questions like how many people are going to be staying at your hotel, when, and the type of rooms that they're going to be needed. So with our hotel, it's very important that we don't overbook ourselves. So they have to follow the hotel occupancy and seeing what rooms we can accommodate for these people. And then throughout the day, I did observe that they were reaching out to people. They were sending lots of emails, being very friendly, asking them if they had any free time to meet up and chat about the hotel that we offer and what we can do to make their choice easier and more swayed to us. And then lots of sales calls are being made. They reach out to leads and prospectives, and then they have every quarter they have goals that need to be reached, and they get bonuses for reaching those goals, obviously. So some goals will be like making this amount of money from a certain booking of the hotel. So they won't, obviously the bigger the better, but the goals are very realistic, they're very timely and approachable. For the sales representatives, they did mention about the SMART goals. And if you are in any other like hospitality classes, you may know that the SMART goals include specific, measurable, attainable, reasonable, and timely. So the sales representatives at the hotel are always wanting to make sure that they can be realistic with their goals and actually have them be reached every quarterly, so they are getting those bonuses. And so that kind of goes through the steps of the sales process. Obviously they have their own touches that what they do when it comes to selling, because they're the ones going out and being personable with this customers. And the sales representative was very successful with achieving their objectives because they have being a sales representative makes you very competitive, or can make you very competitive, so they get bonuses from the goals that they reach. So I think they were very successful. And the closing strategies that they used, they had told me, so they have the proposal to the prospective, the customer, within 2 hours. So they contact them via email or phone, and then they follow up with them within 2 days. This kind of makes the customer feel like that we're making them feel important, that they we have this offer and we want them to take the offer while it's still there. And then conclusion of the deal, like, did you sign off and do you agree to it? Some of the things that I think they can improve on is being a little bit more confident and knowledgeable of the hotel, but that also just comes with experience and practice. Here is a document of what the sales representatives use at my hotel. This kind of has questions. I do have the paper copy here. If any of you guys are more interested, I will be more than happy to fax this over to you to look at, but it just has questions and objectives that need to be reached. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. Please contact me if you are interested in these sales documents.